Okay, hello, my friend. Hopefully that you are doing great. So in this lesson, we are gonna create an ExcelReader utility class, and then we can use in our real test script. So in previous lesson, I said you about the what's it test data provider with TestNG. I also said you a very basic how to read an Excel files based on system, and then we can access all of the cell data out. So in this lesson, what we want to do that we will try to create a utility class, and in this class we will try to provide a utility function that we can actually use in the test script. Okay. So now let me try to close all of this. So I already created an ExcelReader utility. So you can try to get rid of the util word here and just keep the ExcelReader because I don't want to delete the old one. So that's why I created a new class with the name ExcelReader util. So let me try to explain for you bit by bit, and then you can create yourself. Okay. Now, in this class, try to ignore the properties in the class first. Let me try to explain in the constructor, and then after that, you can put property later, okay? So now, what we have in this constructor is this class will receive the first parameter as the file type. So you can see here, the file type come from java.io. And then we can name it something like Excel file location. Because if we want to read an Excel data, we need to know the location of this file. The second thing that we need to know the system. For example, this is the data. So you can see the system is login that I already created here, right? So the first parameter is the stock row. So you can see here. In this data set, the data that I want to use in test script is not this one. It's not stock from this row. So for example, if you have some Excel sheet and what you do, you have something like the row to specify the column name or something like that. So the stock row will be not from this row anymore. So it will not start from index 0 anymore, but it will start from index 1. So we need to specify the start row and the start column as well. For example, if you want to put something like the column like the number or something like that here, and it's not actually the text data. So in that case, you need to specify the start column as well. Okay, so this is our parameter for the constructor. So after that, we will reassign the property Excel file location with the parameter that we receive from constructor, the system, stock row, and stock column. This parameter is very important for us to locate exactly the location of the Excel file, what is the set name that we want to accept, and the stock row and the stock column that we want to start to get the data. Okay. So after that, we will do very similar from the previous lesson. So you can see here, this is file input stream that I already declared as a property here. This comes from file input stream. Okay, so file input stream equal new file input stream, and I will get the Excel file location here. Then I will have another property workbook here. You can see here we have the private workbook here, and the workbook will be from workbook factory dot create file input stream, and then we can have the workbook. After that, we need to get the sheet here. So you can see we have another property sheet here. Okay, and equal workbook dot guess it, this system, and we want to get the total route, because when we create the test data outside, so we need to know that how many row and how many columns that we want to create for two dimensions arrays, right? So that means we need to provide for outside total column and total rows. So the total rows will be get physical number of rows, and the total column here we can assume that we just need to access the first row, and then we will get total column here. So it will be the same. So for example, you don't want to put something outside of this one. Okay, so it is something related to the way you put the data in Excel file. So don't try to put something like, messy. Try to put something like in square. It will be easier for you. Okay, so now in this case, we will assume that the physical number of cells of the first row will be the total column. Okay, and finally, you need to remember to close the file input here, file input stream here. Best practice, you need to close the file input stream after you try to access the data from the file system. Okay, so this is the constructor, and it's very important. So that's why I explained for you in details, so you can create yourself. Okay, so now the second step is this method. Okay, so this method. So the get cell value. So in the get cell value, we need to understand that we need to provide what is the cell, what is the row number, and what is the column number. For example, if you want to access the data of this cell, so that means it will belongs to the row number 1 and the column number 0. I'm telling about the index. Okay, so that means you need to provide the row number and the column number. So in this case, you need to get the row first before you access the cell value. You need to specify the row. So the row in this case will be the sheet, get the row number. Okay, and then you will access the cell data equal the row get cell with the column number here. Okay, so basically in the test you will input in the web page, it will be string. So I declared the cell value here as a string, and the cell type equals cell get cell type. Okay, so now you can put something like switch case here, but for me, I want to put for multiple if, single if here. This will be more readable. Okay, so if the cell type equals cell type dot string, the cell type, I will get something like get string value. And for example, if it is numeric, that means this number. What I do, okay, pay attention here. I use the number format here equal new decimal format. So by that way, I don't want to, if you don't do something like that, what you get out will be something like 123.0, because it will get the double value for you. So that's why I use number format to format the output. So you put something here, so you see, and it will help us to eliminate the .0 at the end. So it should be better for you, because if we want to try to input something just 1, 2, 3, but if we get the data out and it put something like 1, 2, 3.0, it's not correct. Okay, so it's out of what we can control. Okay, so that's why we need to use this one. So the number formats come from, you can see java.text.format. Okay, and then the cell value in this case will be, first you need to see here, we use the number format, we format the cell, yes, numeric cell value, and then we will use string dot value of, because you can see the cell value here is a string, right? So you can, basically you will just have the number and string in the Excel file to use in your test script, but you can put more because we have many more the cell type here, so you can put more here, and you can use the switch case as well. But for me, again, I want to put multiple if like this because it's easy for me to read. And after that, I return the cell value. Okay. So beside that, I want to introduce something outside that the get total row. Here I will just return the total row, and the get total column, I will return the get total column. That's it. Okay. So you can create a main method here to test your utility class. And I already did it here. So for example, if I run this main method, it will just print out from me all of the data from the Excel file that I have just showed you here. Okay. So now I want to use in the real test script. So you go back to the test data provider class here. So what you see here, I extend driver page, and let's see our data provider first, okay? Because this is something you already knew. Let me try to delete this one. So now here, this is the way we use. First, we will declare the Excel file name. In this case is test data dot the extension. Okay, and then you declare the Excel file location. So in this case, I use the system get property that you already knew. That I will get the current directory location here, and then I will use the data folder. Here you see the data. So again, I remind you, if you are in the Windows, I think it should be two backslash, double backslash. Okay, but I'm in the Mac OS, so it should be like this. So this is the Excel, and then you use the Excel file name at the end. The system is the login, and the start route index is 1, right? So this is the start route index. In this case, it is 1, and the start column will be the number 0, the index 0, okay? So after that, I will declare ExcelReader util, this class, okay? I want to create a new instance. New ExcelReader util, and I provide the Excel file location, the system name, the start route index, the start column index inside. After that, I will get the total route and the total column by using the methods the get total route and get total column. Why I need to do that? Because I want to create a new login data. It is actually two-dimension array, so pay attention here. So the new object equal total route, and then you can see we will try to subtract. We subtract with the start route index, because the start route index is not from 0, so we need to subtract. For example, we have total route is 3, right? 3 route in the Excel sheet. But the start route index is 1, so that means we just have totally 2 routes for data, okay? And the column is start from 0, right? But in 0 case, you can do something like total column, and then you can subtract for the start column index, so it will be 0. And for example, in this case, it is 0, so it is equal total column. But in the case, the start column is not from 0, so if you put something like this, it's still true. Okay, so you pay attention the way you declare this two-dimension array. Okay. Now inside, everything is now easy. So you can see for you put a for loop here. The start route will be the start route index. Okay, it is not from 0 anymore. It should from start route index, and start route it should be less than total route, right? And then start route we increase the start route value. So this is the way we accept the route. So in the route, we need to accept each cell, right? Each cell. And then we will start from the column. the stock column equals stock column index, right? And then the same thing, we will increase the stock column by 1 unit. Now, we put the login data here. Login data from stock row, subtract for stock row index. So you can see here, the stock row here, you can replace the total row here by the stock row now. And the stock row index, you keep this one, okay? And this is the stock column, and then you can subtract for the stock column index as well, okay? Equal the ExcelReader util get cell value, stock row, and stock column, okay? So now before we run for the real test script, I just want to do that. I will try to comment out and I will try to debug this one for you, and then you can see the data that we get out. Okay, so I put a breakpoint here. Okay, and then what I want to do that I will try to run this one in debug mode. Okay, I want to debug the login here. And then we can see the data is will get out. So now you can see from here, or you can see from here as well. So here you can see when it run the first step, you can see it's the stock row E1 and total row E3. Okay, and the login data is will declare here. Okay, the login data, but the login data at the first is still null. So if you click on step over here, you will see it will get the stock row E1 and the stock column E0, and it will get out the timestamp, this one, right? If you click the next step and the next step, you can see if you get the superscript here, this one, and so on. The second one, timestamp, and the last one, the password here. Okay, so you can see it can get the data out row by row, cell by cell. Okay, and now let's try to stop the debug. Try to remove this breakpoint, and then I want to run this one first to see whether we can get the username and password out. Okay, now I want to run it, run the login. The browser was open because we extend from driver page, and before the method it will open the browser. So here you can see we can get out the timestamp with superscript password. This is the correct credential. And the second one is this one, timestamp with the password 123. This is a wrong credential. So okay, so far so good. Try to uncomment this one and then try to run this test script to see whether we can input the data inside the web page. You can see we have just done 2 test scripts, okay? One test script with 2 data. So this is the way we can create an ExcelReader utility class, and then we can use here inside the test script to provide the test data for our test script. Okay, so in 3 lessons, I share you about what is the data provider, and the second one I share you about how to read an Excel file, and the last one is this one, that you grab all of the things, all of the knowledge, and then you create an ExcelReader utility, and then you can use in your test scripts successfully. So try to explore yourself, try to keep practice this one because it's very convenient for us when we want to test a set of data, similar data. Okay, and bye for now and see you in the next lesson.